Greetings, welcome to the Black Bear News live stream for Sunday, March 24th, 2019. And I just got a notification on my phone that I started a live broadcast. That's good to know. So let me go see if I can find the chat because it's like two different places. My screen and the chat and what's happening are two different things. And here we are. The chat is on. I hope you guys got my message yesterday because I said it at the end of the video. I apologize. So hopefully everybody knows this is happening. What are we going to talk about today? Actually, like to hear your thoughts about the things, various things and such. Or is it just too nice of a sunny day for people to be catching a live stream? Well, it's like 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We got 5 people watching. Okay. So I know that somebody's here. Hello. D-Truth, what up? 9 are in. Okay. Zombie Vampires, what's going on? Yuri, what's going on? Howdy and welcome. Yeah. Good to see y'all. 11, climbing. We're getting up there. Thank you all for joining. So what's up, Henry? How are you doing? Obviously, the big news in the States is that the Mueller report was released. I know. I'm gonna start this off with some political talk. Bumble Squid Smurf God. The Mueller report was released. Miss Elise, hello. And a depressing day for Dems. You know, unless you're a progressive guy like me, which is like, I don't know, you know. I personally think the Russian thing was not cool. It was a hoax set up by the Dems. I think that they could get Trump on many other things. You know, he hasn't released his taxes. They could get him on financial stuff. They could get him on all kinds of stuff. But, you know, for God's sake, let the Russian stuff go. Anyways, I'm glad to see the Russian, the whole Russian collusion idea. Please just go away. But anyways, moving on to, you know, let's talk about some climate stuff. Yuri says, was watching your last video before going to sleep, and then you start this. I got to wake up 6 hours to bring my son to school. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Well, I know it's never really a great time because people are all over the world. So if any time that I started is going to be inconvenient. Aaron Murr, what's up? Anytime I start is going to be inconvenient for somebody. I was trying to be slightly more convenient for the East Coasters in the U.S. By starting this earlier. Is there a law against buffoonery? I don't know. And you know, he's broken all the buffoonery laws. By gum. Yeah. So have you all seen that there's quite a few cyclones and storms underway around the world? If you want them out of office, show up at the polls in 2020 and vote them out. Exactly. I went to a Bernie Sanders rally yesterday. I think you all knew that. And it was cool. It was great. But I mean, Bernie spent a lot of time, 11 a.m. here with my kids, Henry says, who have a gastro bug. I'm sorry to hear that. Anyways, well, I want to address that really quickly, but I was at a Bernie Sanders rally and it was cool. It was great. I love hearing him speak, but he spent a long time talking. he spent a long time talking about how bad Trump was. And I was just like, look, man, we already know this. Just, just get off Trump and talk about your agenda and like, just go ahead and win the election. Just already. Let's talk about how we're going to win this election. So Miss Elise says, I've been watching the cyclones out of Australia, very warm water there. And I also heard there was a cyclone. Bernie is a machine, a goddamn machine. I mean, the man is what, 77, 78? How old is he? He's as old as my dad. And like, he's, no signs of slowing down. So what I was going to say there, yeah, there are quite a few cyclones. There's one near Brazil. How many are there right now? There's like 2 or 3 going on around the world as we speak. There's one, and then Mozambique is digging out of. So there's Cyclone Veronica, right, in Port Hedland, Western Australia. Cyclone Trevor hit the country yesterday. So 2 cyclones. Wild. And then there's one forming near Brazil, or already formed. Keep losing you guys. So I want to ask you guys, has anybody noticed that everybody is sick? For the last week, but in the last 3 weeks or so, I have like almost like 90% of the people I've come in contact with have been sick. And this seems, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but it seems anomalous to me. It seems a little weird and slightly frightening. Like, are people's immune systems becoming compromised? Is something going around? Is there a stronger bug that's just going around and around? It seems like more people have been sick over the last couple of years, as flu strain has been very prevalent and kind of aggressive. Henry Holt says Bernie runs a great jazz website, does lots of live chats. Yeah, he does. I mean, he's always going. Are you talking about Human says Bernie is not preaching to the choir? He is talking to the TV people. So you're saying that's why he's talking about Trump? I guess. I think he's doing a little bit of pandering. Which, whatever. He doesn't need to do that. But I get it. He's trying to play a political game. Which is already, it's annoying enough. Human says, do not open doors with naked hands. I've never heard that one before. Stress makes your immune system weak. People are feeling the effects. So is it, yeah, I mean, is it that? Is it just everybody is stressed out? I don't know. It's really weird. I mean, people have gotten into my vehicle with like Ebola level flu symptoms. And I'm like, what are you doing out in public? By all means, like, they're just sick as dogs. And I'm just like, get out of here and go home. And, just don't run around making the rest of the world sick, have a little bit of compassion for the rest of us. Henry Holt says, yes, lots of viruses here. Jeffrey Colon, GMO, solar radiation management, vaccines, fluoridated water, Fukushima radiation. I'm surprised it took so long for people to get sick. That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, like, I think people, their systems, their immune systems, people are feeling the effects of like multiple vectors of stressors, not just life stress, but yeah, solar radiation, UV rays, probably increased amounts of viruses that are being released from, whatever permafrosts, radiation from Fukushima. Who said that? Few people have said Fukushima. D-Truth said Fukushima is poisoning the earth slowly. D-Truth can't smell or taste radiation. Environmental Coffee House, what's up? Welcome. We have 31 people here. Caldicott's interview by Sam. So did Sam Mitchell interview Caldicott? I didn't see it. I haven't seen any of Sam's videos in my feed lately, so for some reason, I don't know why. I'm gonna have to like go seek that out if you did. I love Helen Caldicott, by the way. I mean, she's just speaking truth always. Nutrition content in our food is depleted more and more, says Zombie Vampires. Yeah. I've got the live. I don't have Chop Chat. I have live chat going, so I think I'm seeing everything. Thank you. Deb Van Poelen says we need to eat unprocessed whole foods, dairy, alcohol, smoke, wheat, and anything processed wreak havoc on our immune systems. So there's another meme going around too, and this ties into that, which is Deb Van Poelen also says the mainstream American diet makes people's bodies acidic and inflamed, and thus more vulnerable to illness. And I was reading something good about counteracting the acidity. What was I reading? Darn it. Or something. It'll come back to me. Another meme that's going around is people are talking about the fact that, lots of people are now becoming allergic to gluten. And what people are saying, there's a meme going around saying you're not allergic to gluten, you're allergic to glyphosate. There's probably something to that, and considering the fact that there's so much glyphosate in all of our food, and most of the bread people are eating is tainted. Miss Elise says from Arctic Sea Ice Forum, GFS indicates that overall the Arctic temperature anomaly will increase from 2.5 degrees to +6 on Monday, and then range between 6.5 and 5.5 over the next week or so. This is something else I wanted to catch up on, because that is also going on in the Arctic. There's a huge temperature anomaly, but that's been happening the entire winter. That's why we have, snow, like radical snow flurries right now in Colorado, why we've been having such insane weather in the lower 48. Again, we're having weather disruptions, jet stream disruptions because of the anomalies, temperature anomalies in the Arctic. Miss Elise, with anomalies up to +30 Celsius in parts of the Pacific, half of the Arctic basin. Human says the gig is to teach the kids how to teach the kids. The solutions are local community based. Gazar says medical center was trash by militia in DRC. They want to spread Ebola. Yeah, when that was happening, when that was a thing a couple years ago, when there was an Ebola outbreak, a lot of people were saying that there was something fishy about that. I don't know. Osama, fellow Anomalama, Habaduba. The Anomalies, my new band. That's a great name, by the way. The Anomalies is good. I heard a random, I was listening to the TV out of one ear. I've never watched TV, but I listened to it. And some medical doctor was talking about something, and he said the words delicate skeletons. And I was like, oh, that's probably the name of my next album is Delicate Skeletons. But the Anomalies, that's great. Let's go back. Miss Elise says, I can't eat gluten or dairy. So also, that dairy is full of the glyphosate as well. So are you allergic to dairy, or are you allergic to the chemicals in the dairy? Or is it both? Or I don't know. Environmental Coffee House. Human is right. Our education system needs to be turned upside down. Well, yeah. Education system, mainstream news, political system. Nathan Giles, how you doing? or is it Giles? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Love your show, dude. I listen to every one. Important work. Thanks. Thank you. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to contribute while you're watching or while we're talking, you can do the super chat thing down below. No pressure. If you feel the urge, you can contribute during the live stream. The Lime stream. Peter Martin, hi from Australia. Great to see the XR message is getting out there. Totally. I'm encouraged. I've been watching XR videos almost daily and trying to give them views. You guys, the view number, the XR videos are awesome. But what's really depressing is that every video has literally like 300 views or 600 views. It's just like, man, do people not want this message? The videos make it seem like the community is big, but that, you see how many people are actually watching these videos and you realize the community is not that big. Jeffrey Kalan says, I had a bean burrito from Taco Bell earlier. I hope I survive. Dude, those things are toxic. Very bad for you. You know what? I had actually health problems develop after I used to travel around the country and eat a lot of Taco Bell. And it messed me up. After about a year of that, I was really messed up. I stopped eating Taco Bell completely. I just don't do it. Just from that experience alone. General rule, eat food and then listen to what your body says about how that food works for it or not. That I do actually abide by that rule. Human, technically this gathering is considered a community meeting similar to a general assembly. Could we pass a declaration of world peace? All those in favor? Say aye. We declare world peace. We declare an end to all wars immediately. We declare that we attack the problem of climate change with every force at our disposal, with all economic resources at our disposal. How about that? Or how about I declare the military budget of the United States forfeited, illegal and forfeited to the threat of climate change. Environmental coffee house. I'm so happy to live in a farming community where I can get organic everything in addition to what we grow. I wish it was like that for everyone. I do too. I buy as much organic as I can. Sometimes it's a little of this, a little of that. Peter Martin says, don't do dairy. It's shocking for the environment, bad for human health, and perpetuates cruelty. I'm a vegetarian. I do very little dairy. Mostly everything that I eat dairy substitutes for almost everything, but I eat cheese, and I'm sorry about that. I need like this amount of animal protein for me to just like run optimally. I tried to do full on vegan and I kind of fell apart a little bit, and I don't, I'll go back and figure it out one day, but I was just too busy to have like health concerns over my veganism. So then I started eating cheese, but other than that, I don't really eat any other dairy. Dev Van Poolen, I got Dar Jamil's book on CD and cannot wait to listen. I wonder if there's like somebody that's done a podcast of his work, of that CD, or I'll just buy it on Audible or something. It'd be easier for me to listen to it, I think, than read it. I don't have time to read books these days. That's just pathetic. The Salt Lakers drop the chalupa post haste or post mortem. Zombie vampires walk softly and carry a big stick still applies today. Or is it talk softly? I've heard it said both ways. Miss Elise, I've been watching you for years, off and on. I always watch the ads in your videos, hoping that it helps you. Thank you, Miss Elise. Thank you. Everyone's saying aye. The Salt Lakers, nay. Come on, man. World peace just isn't in it for you. Doesn't do it for you. Hell, ein. Okay, I see it. I see it. Osama number 5. Geez. Nathan Giles, what XR videos you mentioned? Well, I've been watching. I watch anything that Roger Hallam does, for one. Then there's one I linked like 2 videos ago. There's like a press release. That one's good. They have a bunch of random ones. They have one about how to run, meetings, and how, Roger Hallam has one on how to run, how he's investigated social media and how that works in order to get people involved in XR. It's actually a good resource. The Extinction Rebellion YouTube channel. There's lots of like information, not just about Extinction Rebellion, but like how to protest, how to do the whole protest thing. Like they're really coming at it from a holistic point of view. Human says, finish this sentence. If I was president, I would. I would. My presidency would be ultra radical, as in I would take the military budget and put it towards converting our entire economy to mitigating, fighting, and surviving climate change. And that would be it. That would basically be it. I'd bring all the troops home. I'd have, the full weight of military personnel domestically working on helping people. I would give away homes and land to anybody, to everybody who wants or needs it. I would give, I would ask that people, start growing their own food, start planting trees, start capturing carbon any way that we could. I would nationalize all corporations and all industry. I would shut down and I would rescind the charter of all corporations unless they were totally and completely, necessary to our economy, or not our economy, but to our country continuing to function. I would nationalize agriculture. I would, et cetera, et cetera. I would, it would be a radical presidency if I were president. Oh, hey guys, I just wanted to update you real quick while we're here. Check this out. Whoop. I printed up all the t-shirts and they're going out in the mail. They will all be in the mail tomorrow. It's taken me just a little bit of time to actually like get it all together, but I know you guys have been waiting, and thank you for your patience. So y'all will get your things very, very soon. Human says leaderless rebellion. Osama, peace on earth, or peace earth. Environmental Coffee House says life is radioactive. D-Truth says most have no choice than cheap, bad food. That's very true. Although some of it, I think that, yeah, some people live in what are known as food deserts, but also some people are just not hip to the fact that you can go to Trader Joe's, or not hip to the fact that you can go to a farmer's market, or not hip to the fact that you can, there are places to get good food. It's just that, again, it's cultural programming, and people that, people that live in this culture or this paradigm, or this, people that live in poor neighborhoods just aren't aware, just don't have the knowledge that, like, hey, you can go to this place over here and it's not going to cost you all your money to go get good food. Because they're used to going to the, Piggly Wiggly or whatever the hell, wherever the hell they're going, and getting like crappy food. Cheese is cheese, almost as bad as mayonnaise. Yeah, I know, it's bad. Miss Elise says soldiers may open fire if lives are at risk in yellow jacket protests. Paris military general. Yeah, so they've been threatening to do some ultra violence on the yellow jackets. They basically said, like, Jay Thadcast said, like the personal profiles of activists on XR. Jesse Daly, all things in moderation, even radiation. It's Bumble Squid Smurf God clears up the controversy, and it's speak softly and carry a big stick. Osama number 5 says radiation is cumulative. Environmental Coffee House says we're going to do shirts and coffee cups. Mindy's graphics are so beautiful. Do them. Human, worker-owned production with loans from the government would be a good start. Yes, exactly. Co-ops, cooperatives. Put people in charge of production, or let the workers own the production and then share in the profits. Again, I would still nationalize a lot of, there's a lot of things we just do not need. And in order to really, really, really tackle climate change, like, you'd have to nationalize the airline industry and just say, like, that's it, you're done. You'd have to nationalize the tourism industry and say, that's it, you're done. You just would have to shut a lot of things down, because you can't have these things continue to go on and say, like, well, we're going to, help the environment, but, we're going to let these ultra polluting, industries continue to go. Don't ever get on a cruise ship, by all means, by God. Tourism is, ecocidal, period. And the end. And it sucks because a lot of economies rely on tourism, but hey, a lot of economies rely on ecocidal activities. So you're going to have to stop the ecocidal activities, and you're going to have to give somebody else something to rely on, which is like growing their own food, or making things locally for people. And, they're going to have to live a completely different way. Osama number 5, spent fuel rods are really, really radioactive. Valhalla 5-6 says we need a climate MLK or Gandhi. And I actually agree with you, man. As much as I think that revolutions I don't necessarily think it's necessary to have leaders. Strike that. It is necessary to have leaders. I don't, I think revolutions can happen from the ground up, but I think eventually you need somebody to spearhead, like, where you're going and what the plan is and what you're doing. And, like, you're just not going to have that without a strong personality to kind of, like, go, okay, guys, over, this way. Macron has the army involved with shoot to kill. Yep. Regarding the Yellow Jackets, this is the Salt Lakers protest. Napoleon once said, "Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake." But which enemy are you talking about? Are you talking about Macron, the Yellow Jackets' response to Macron, or Macron's response to Yellow Jackets? I don't know. Rudel Zavedno said, my sister got tear gassed on Champs-Elysees. She deserved to be cooled down. Okay. She doing some actions on the Champs-Elysees? Human says, organic natural revolutions develop leaders, but no martyrs. Yeah. I think so. J. Thadcast, production needs to take backseat to actual needs. Yes, I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, like, the needs need to be met. The bare minimum of what people need to, to live on needs to happen. I mean, we need to just shut down the production of just things that don't need to be put out into the world. I mean, we have enough cars, we have enough SUVs and ATVs and boats, and we don't. all those industries need to just stop, and they're not going to stop on their own. Somebody needs to come in and say, that's it for you. It's over. Sorry. Take your money and go do something else. Go have a good time. I don't know. Go buy a bunker or whatever. Osama says we need a second coming of Jerry Garcia. What? Wait, Osama says my buddy got the bass gig with the Yellow Jackets. That's funny. That's funny. Cancel thyself. Doomsday clock at 2 minutes to midnight, and Mueller has no new indictments. American exceptionalism run amok, imperiling the whole world, empire, and death rows. I don't. It's interesting. It's in death rows on some level, on many levels. But I think there is a consciousness. I think there's an awakening happening, and it's outside of, like we're just getting this mainstream like bullhorn, of information at us, and it's also happening on social media where we're just, oh my God, Trump, and he's taking out the whole, everything's, But I think that away from all of that there's a whole consciousness about what it is we want, what it is people want and what we need to do. And I think that consciousness is growing. And the media and the world at large is not going to acknowledge this until it's just like, boom, it's big and it's in people's faces. D-Truth, I can't see the Queen of England having to grow her own and be a part of the community. Ooh, confiscate the wealth of the royals. Ooh, you know how much money those people have? I mean, it's like they have so much money that's like uncountable. They have just like, the Vatican. The Vatican is sitting on like just so much wealth. They probably don't even know what the hell they even have. People driving huge RVs with motorcycles and trucks hooked to them. They just have to have all their toys and burn fuel. Yep. Life went on without oil and electric everything. It sure did. Environmental Coffee House. I think Trump is a slimeball piece of shit mobster. Yes, he is. But so is, 80% of the rest of the government. They're all slimeball piece of shit mobsters. Like a lot of them. Not all. A lot. That being said, they're lying about everything. We have work to do, living with purpose. Exactly. I mean, they're taking up the bandwidth, I think, of the conversation. The conversation that is being had with, Trump and the Mueller report. It's like all that shit doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Like we have to have a conversation about things that matter. Like just stop giving them all the energy. Ugh. Oh, I hate it. Progressives rise up. That's right. So, Cyrus Shadrezer, 5,768 layoffs announced in the last 5 days. Financial disorder is about to overtake everything. So yeah. I mean, and then there's that. There's the fact that we have been running on fumes. The economy has been running on fumes. We're due for the recession, for the reset. And is it this year? Is it next year? It's any moment, really. Bumble Squid Smurf God. Everything about the way our society is set up must change as fast as possible. Hold up. How can anyone get their bearings on anything? Good question, but I think that I think that people talking about what it is we need to do and what the actual plan is to get there is a start. Nathan Giles has been watching the Midwest floods. Could be a deal for grain and food price And glyphosate consumption. Our family is going to make some bulk rice purchases soon. Yep, we're doing the same. The pictures of the floods are amazing. Yeah, we're getting the old buckets of beans and rice together, and as well as some other items. Jay Thadcast, no, that is no answer about 45. The bandwidth is all about corruption. Is about all corruption in control. Yeah, man, but yeah, I'm totally into that conversation. It's just that, the corruption goes so much deeper than just that dude. There's corruption on all sides. I'm sorry to say that, but there's serious corruptions going on in the Democratic Party. They just passed a law, the Democratic campaign committee, or whatever it's called, the DCCC, just passed a rule saying that if progressives primary incumbents, right? So if more progressive Democrats primary more centrist incumbents, then they will basically be financially they're not gonna allow the vendors that help those campaigns. They're not going to allow them to work with other campaigns. So basically, they're going to start blackballing people if you work with a progressive that primaries it. Dude, I understand it's not all about 45. Yes, Trump is super, super corruption, but the reason why he's there is because the Democrats are super, super corruption too, and they're all they're just all allowing this crap to take place. I mean, you have lies and lies and more lies on all sides, and it's the truth is not in the mainstream media. We really got to get outside of that and look for the truth. Jay Thadcast, yes, serious corruption on all sides, no doubt. So now I say, like you, yeah, but all politics is corrupt. Yes. But is there a way to make it less corrupt? Is there a way to even bring about any kind of sanity? Is there hope for that? I don't know. Osama, did you visit the pineal gland? Valhalla 56, Macron needs a head job. His head removed with Life of a Boy and Corgi Puppy. Do you like Billie Eilish? I don't know a lot about Billie Eilish. I've heard a little bit, but not a lot. So I cannot speak experientially about Billie Eilish. Dems have black balls, but actually, could be the first year that even us here in the U.S. feel the real impacts of climate change. Food could be scarce and spendy, especially if every other country has crappy growing seasons too. Right. So yeah, check this out. I don't know if y'all heard me talk about this the other day, but so there was there were grain surpluses from last year, and some of those grain surpluses were destroyed because of the floods. So now all of a sudden you have grain surpluses that were destroyed, and farmers can't plant. So we're going to go totally in the opposite direction, like really, really quick. Climate deniers to Devil's Island. I'm with that. I'm with it. There's no team red or team blue. It's just team corruption. Yep. Although I have to say, in the Democratic Party, there are some people trying to fix that. I don't see it anywhere in the Republican Party. I mean, they're just totally lost. They don't know anything from anything. They think low key corruption is no corruption at all, but they're just ridiculous. But I think there's some people in the Dems that are saying, like, look, this is not the way to go. Will they be victorious? Will they even change anything? Magic 8 Ball says possibly not, or not likely, not very likely. Human, the new flag seen in Paris is a flag made with a yellow vest. Miss Elise, David Suzuki fires off from the death zone at Trudeau, Weaver, and a broken system. David Suzuki also talking about the truth these days. Also one to listen to and to watch. Rudels Vedno says, I saw the news closing Alaska roads 2 weeks earlier. Vintage Violet. So anyone else wondering what to do with life, money, etc. because of near-term extinction, I feel compelled to cash in my retirement and just join XR. But really, do we just start living for now? Feelings, thoughts? Vintage Violet, this is not, I will not give you financial advice, but some people, this is what I've heard, some people think that it might be wiser to put your money into physical stores of wealth, like silver or gold, because if there is a crash, your retirement won't be worth anything. So I don't know. Something to think about, but don't take my word for it. Do your research. Because a lot of retirements are falling apart. A lot of pensions are falling apart, and you're probably going to end up losing money when they start trying to pay those out at smaller totals. Just what I've heard from other people. Or food, vintage, or buy food, yeah. Stock up on plenty of the food and the water. Miss Elise says, Vintage Violet, do what will make you happy. For now, not what will make you happy years from now. Yeah, it's hard. So I'm going to tell you the story. I was in a relationship with somebody a few years ago, about 3 years ago. No, 2016. This is after my marriage fell apart. I was in a relationship with somebody, and Trump was just elected. Was he just in office? Yeah, it was like 2016, and the elections were happening, and he got into office. And I was kind of like urging my friend to get out of savings, and she was like, she thought the economy was about to crash. I did too. And she took all her money out and bought a bunch of silver. And, we were talking about buying guns and all kinds of stuff and fortifying the homestead. And here we are in 2019. That's all I have to say. Like, earlier is better than too late. Then again, but you got to hold on to your purchases, right? Because you could cash out your retirement right now and buy silver and gold and guns and food. And we could still be right here 3 years from now. And you could probably be like, oh, why did I do that? But, so yeah, precious metals. Actually, now is the time to buy. I will tell you that much, because silver has been cheap for about 3 or 4 years. It's been like $15, super cheap. If silver goes up to $100, then you're doing really, really good. More cowbell, says Brian Stevens. That's what I always say. Salt Lakers, do what Black Bear does. Put your money where your mouth is. Eric Kemp, secure a clean water source. Ding. Jay Thadcast, no reason to put wealth in anything but clean water and land for all. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, if you guys know who Chris Martenson is, he does a really good website and has a book about resilience, living resiliently. I think it's called Prosper or something like that. I think is the name of the book. I don't know what his website is called. I think it's Prosper. Yeah, Deacon says now the government has made it easier to allow companies to roll pensions into lump sum payouts that will be much less than what retirees are. Exactly. And that's happening all over the place. They're just not there. You don't hear about this on the regular news, right? You're not, they're not telling you this is going on, but this has happened in the Dallas police pension got messed around with. There's a huge Cal fund, I think it was called, pension fund, was hacked. Basically, they ran into big time trouble, and they started putting restrictions on what they were paying out to the pensioners. So yeah, I would not trust that if we had an economic collapse, that your money will be safe. Valhalla 5-6, I want to use the silver not for money, but to make bullets for the corpse. Peak prosperity, thank you, Phosphorus. Yeah, okay, you guys are on it. Thank you. Yeah, Chris Martinson is great. And he talks all about that, all about having, a homestead, a resilient plan to survive economic and or environmental collapse. Sambone. Thanks, Osama. Sambone is awesome. J Thadcast, can't eat a rock or post-collapse pound of silver will be worth a pound of food. Today, a pound of food is $5. No value in investing in metals. The price is relative. Yeah, unless you can turn it around somehow. If the metals go through the roof, and then I don't know. You're right. If you can't turn around and cash it out, because the cash won't be worth anything. Invest in tools that don't use electricity. Miss Elise, thank you. Ding. Exactly. That's why I have one of those little pour cup coffee makers, because that's my main tool in life, is a coffee machine. And mine uses electricity, but I have the one that doesn't use electricity, because when the power goes out, I'm gonna make some coffee. Dang it. Natural Progressive, grow your own food. Brian Stevens, show me the money. Environmental Coffee's House says Guy McPherson coined Sambone. Valhalla 5-6, when shit hits the fan, go to Cracker Barrel. They have all the old school tools on their walls for decoration. Jeffrey Collin says the only time is now. Invest in the present. Enjoy friends, family, and nature while it still exists. Right, human, exactly. The new program is not a bailout, but a bail-in, where the depositors lose a percentage of their savings, i.e. Greece. That has already happened. Gene, hola from Costa Rica. I'm late. Well, you're here for the last 10 minutes, so welcome. Rudel says, or Rudel, what did you say? You disappeared. XAU and XAG prices are being compressed because of large shorts manipulating market prices. Oh yeah, that's happening. Gazar can't eat metal. I mean, so you really don't know what's going to happen. The best way, the best thing to do is have diversified instruments, as you will, or as they say. You want to have a little bit of cash. You want to have some precious metals. You maybe even want to have some cryptocurrency, before the lights go out. So if the cryptocurrency goes through the roof, you can, possibly cash it out. Then you want some food, you want some water. Food and water might be the most valuable. Again, the guy in The Big Short, the genius guy, the genius investor in The Big Short, at the end when they're rolling the credits, and they're like, whatever his name was, I forget. I think his name was Michael, maybe not. They were like, Michael got out of the investment field, and he now invests in water. So the genius guy from The Big Short threw all his money behind water. Something to think about. Bolts of hardy fabric material. Thank you, Kent. Did I miss something? I missed a lot. You guys are coming through loud and clear. Thank you for all your. Gene says liquor will always be good for trading. Yes. I don't even drink, but I would probably have some liquor on hand because I know how valuable liquor would be in the end times for many people. Valhalla, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Trish Kaiser, how long until the grocery shelves are empty? I mean, if the economy really tanks, it could be this year, but I'm giving it 3 years inside. But again, you could do all your prepping, and 3 years from now, we could just be sitting right here talking about, well, still waiting on that Blue Ocean event. Jeffrey Kalan says, grocery stores will be empty in a few years. I think it will depend on where you are. Of course, yes, regional shortages will be happening more quickly in some places. Henry Holt says, yes, we should have water standard for currency. I've always said that. I was talking to a guy the other day who said that real wealth was based on time. I was trying to get my mind around that. Basically, he was saying the time it took to mine gold was a measure. That money was a measure of time. That's what he was trying to say. But whatever. You can't eat time either. An XR symbol and the yellow vest. How about an XR symbol on a yellow vest? I'm way up. Thank you. Thank you, Natural Progressive. Thank you. Solar panel that works after 40 years. Impressive. Osama says I have a 40-year-old solar panel. Still gives 2/3 of its output. Damn, spanky. That's great. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to go back and read through some of these. Phil Gorbett says, live ethically, live with purpose. Movements, politics, and IRAs are for different times. Harley Canine, without a banking system, metals and paper money are equally worthless. Natural Progressive, I use a percolator coffee pot. Yeah, ring-tailed fox. Can't use cryptocurrency without electricity. True, but the thing is that you can store the information. If the power goes out, whenever it comes back on, you can still have your cryptocurrency. That's the idea. I would say have a little cryptocurrency just because, when things get real crazy and volatile and the markets start to crash and cryptocurrency goes, booey, then you just sell it, take your winnings and go do something else. Where are we at? In the movie Soylent Green, there were super high priced foods for the rich. Valhalla 5-6. Jay Thadcast, food will be on the shelves while people are dying. We will lose canned food after we lose 60% of people. CB Unglesby says, got my spring and new greenhouse. You are sitting pretty. Henry Holt, people are storing fentanyl. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty quick way to go, right? Or, can make yourself feel good while the end. Natural Progressive, yes. Osama number 5, learn what you can do before we lose Google. Extremely good advice. There's so much information. Jesse Daly, thank you, Jesse. Keep reporting the climate-related events. Without information about the goings-on, there can be no hope of reconciliation. Appreciate you, sir. Gene says, Kameshwari Kate. So far, I can grow coffee here. I don't know where you're at. Harley Canine. When what we're talking about happens, the power ain't coming back on. Hierophant says heroin will be the #1 commodity during the collapse. Jay Thadcast, I'm going to lose my ability to spell after the power goes out for good. A lot of us are going to be really bad spellers. Osama says, I would prefer barbiturates. I don't know what I'd prefer. Actually, I've had a conversation with a follower, with a viewer a few times who was also sober, but I like to think that I would face the end times without any intoxicants, but I don't know. I don't know. CB Unglesby, cannabis is all you need. I don't know if I want to be high in the end times though. I don't know. I get a little paranoid. Jay Thadcast, plant a poppy for the end times. Salt Lakers, buy a house in Mexico. Remember, the first will be last, and last will be first. I'm with the buy a house in Mexico thing. However, man, you gotta have some fortifications, because if any place is going to be Mad Max on steroids, that's Mexico. But so, I mean, the U.S. is going to be Mad Max on steroids. Valhalla, why is that, Kevin? I don't know what the question is for. Osama says, had a cat put to sleep with a massive OD of pheno. It was instant. Environmental Coffee House says, I want more acreage, like 10 or 20 acres. Kent Deal, I would like 10 or 20 acres, Sandy, yes. Kent Deal, everyone should have a field guide for mushrooms and wildflowers. Excellent advice. Environmental Coffee House, I'm high in the end times. Miss Elise, I just need a good cup of coffee to meet the end. That is right up my alley. Phosphorus says, I feel many people will be attempting to escape as things collapse in chaos. Totally, and I'm going to be one of those people. I already, my bug out plan is better than my prepping plan. I intend to bug out somewhere. The dude ain't got no retirement. How does one prep if they live paycheck to paycheck? And that's exactly my life. So yeah, prepping is real difficult. I would be very interested to learn a couple $100 I can scrounge here and there, just befriend some Mormons maybe. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to prep. You just got to do a little bit at a time. Eric Kemp, I want to hear music. I don't have any music for you today. Maybe the next one. Human, April 15th, everyone will be rebelling. And 16th and 17th weekend will be start to a summer of revolt. Could be. Gene, research shows that in a zombie apocalypse, the best place is far away from all people. Same for environmental collapse. Osama, make mine espresso. Delicious espresso. Hierophant, Mad Max on meth. Ooh, if there was a drug, actually, so It doesn't make any sense at all, but if there was one drug I would do in the end times, it probably would be meth. And I know that sounds insane, but I like meth. I haven't done any in about 17 years, but that stuff is fun. No, that strike that, reverse that. I don't know what I'm talking about. Osama number 5, brains. Oh, Eric Camp. No, I mean when it ends, I want to be able to listen to music. I want to be able to play music. I'll, if I have my guitar and a cup of Joe, I'll be fine. Pass the ammo and that meth too. Oh yeah, shoot 'em up, snort it up. Accessorize. Think rolling papers, toilet paper, drink mixers you can trade with anyone. Salt Lakers. D Truth. I asked a farmer for 2 acres and he kicked me in the balls and said, "There you go." Dude. Gene, no drugs for me. I want to see the end coming, fully conscious. I do too. Henry Holt, thousands are dying on fentanyl right now. Val, that's not propaganda. J. LeBlanc, guitar and a solar amp. Yes, sir. Vintage Violet, be hard to escape LA. Can't imagine the freeway madness of mass exodus. But at least Oregon has space resources near. Absolutely. Well, that's where I'm going. Vintage Violet. I'm heading north. Northern California / Oregon is my destination. Yeah, that's what's happening. But the thing is I'm going to be able to see that things are going awry earlier than a lot of people. I have a very itchy trigger finger on my escape plan. So when things get real weird, I'm gonna gather all my people, and we're gonna take a little convoy. Can't deal. Lots of adrenaline in the end times. Robin Data. I've seen teenagers with heart attacks from meth. Man, I almost gave myself a heart attack on meth. It's bad. It's bad stuff. It's really terrible. Black Bear News. You should start a music coffee house for all of us. So, Miss Elise, before there was Black Bear News, there was Sam Bloom's Bulk Goods, which was an idea I had for a coffee house slash like a small supermarket, like an old school Little House on the Prairie supermarket where you could buy things in bulk, rice, beans, whatever. So you'd have a supermarket, you'd have a coffee shop kind of thing, and in the back you'd have music and poetry and plays and whatnot. So that is something that's still in the back of my mind. I would love to do. Natural Progressive. I have 2 acres. I need more. I hear the land is cheap in Florida. Yeah, it's cheap and getting cheaper. All right, guys, I'm at an hour. So I think it's about time for me to sign off. Ket Deal, Red Llama Days. Yep. Deb Van Poolen. Not referring to a grave here, but I might be digging a deep hole in the ground for a home. Underground homes are cooler and can be camouflaged real good. Excellent. Yes. Or homes built into the side of, hillsides or mountains. Also very good. Depending on the terrain, I don't know how hard that is. My scientist pagan friend has land in the western basin of Tennessee mountains. They have a community for the apocalypse. Right on. Natural Progressive, it was a joke. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Good talking to you all. I'll let you know when I get my coffee house music spot in the end times together. And we'll all meet there. Peace out, people. Thank you. Y'all are great.